First Contact and Deception. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Terran Defense Station Artemis, her weathered face reflected in the reinforced plasteel as she watched the seemingly primitive Earth defense fleet conduct its routine maneuvers. To any watching eyes, humanity's ships would appear almost laughably basic, bulky, utilitarian vessels with obvious weld lines and exposed heat radiators. It was perhaps their greatest deception yet. Admiral, long-range quantum sensors have detected the Nexari scout fleet entering the Kuiper Belt, reported Commander David Okafor, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display floating before him. Their energy signatures match our previous observations. They think they're being stealthy. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. For 3 years, humanity had carefully orchestrated this moment, presenting themselves as an emerging civilization barely capable of interplanetary travel. The truth was far different. When humanity had detected the first Nexari probes at the edge of the solar system 15 years ago, they had made a decisive choice to hide their true capabilities and prepare for the invasion they knew would come. "Status of Project Nightfall?" she asked, turning from the window. "All systems nominal," David replied. "The quantum computation arrays are masked beneath standard EM signatures. The Nexari won't detect anything beyond basic fusion reactors and chemical propulsion." The primitive fleet conducting exercises was anything but. Each vessel contained revolutionary quantum technology that could bend spacetime itself, hidden beneath layers of deliberate technological camouflage. The exposed heat radiators were actually phase-shifted weapon arrays. The crude weld lines concealed metamaterial armor that could adapt to any attack. "Message from Fleet Intelligence," announced Lieutenant Maya Patel from her station. "The Nexari main battle fleet has begun mobilizing from their forward base in the Orion Arm. Estimated arrival time: 72 hours. Sarah nodded, everything proceeding according to predictions. The Nexari Empire had conquered 12 star systems in the past century using the same tactical pattern. Send scouts to assess the target civilization's capabilities, then overwhelm them with superior technology and numbers before they could develop effective countermeasures. But humanity had turned their own arrogance against them. Every probe they sent was allowed to observe carefully crafted scenes of technological development, barely beyond the 21st century. Every transmission they intercepted suggested a species still grappling with the basics of faster-than-light travel. In reality, Earth had reversed-engineered quantum technology from the wreckage of an ancient alien ship found beneath the Martian ice 30 years ago. Rather than rushing to deploy it, they had spent decades refining and advancing it in absolute secrecy. The Artemis station itself was a marvel of engineering, its true nature hidden beneath layers of holographic camouflage and quantum masking fields. "The scout vessels are beginning their approach," David reported. "Their scan patterns suggest they're conducting final tactical assessment before the main fleet arrives." "Maintain current protocols," Sarah ordered. "Let them see exactly what we want them to see." She turned to Maya. "Status of the Lazarus Protocol. All orbital platforms are prepared, Admiral. The quantum entanglement network is operating at full capacity beneath the EM masking fields. The moment they commit their fleet, we'll be ready." The Lazarus Protocol was humanity's masterstroke, a system of interconnected quantum computers and weapons platforms that could coordinate faster than light itself. While the Nexari relied on conventional faster-than-light communications with millisecond delays, Earth's forces would react instantaneously through quantum entanglement. "New data coming in from Deep Space Array Gamma," David announced. "The Nexari main fleet composition is exactly as our simulations predicted: 120 capital ships, roughly 800 support vessels." Sarah studied the holographic tactical display, watching the red dots representing the Nexari fleet as they organized for their jump to Earth. They would arrive expecting to find a primitive civilization ripe for conquest. Instead, they would face an opponent that had spent years preparing specifically for them. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Initiative Broken Mirror is now active. When they arrive, Give them their show of panic and disorganization. Let them think their overwhelming force has thrown us into chaos. The next 3 days passed with carefully choreographed precision. The scout ships observed Earth's apparently frantic attempts to organize a defense, watching as ships conducted clumsy maneuvers and broadcast easily intercepted communications, suggesting fear and confusion. When the massive Nexari fleet finally arrived in a spectacular display of light and energy, they found exactly what they expected: a terrified young civilization scrambling to mount any kind of resistance. Earth's ships appeared to scatter in disarray, some firing ineffective chemical weapons that dispersed harmlessly against Nexari shields. Admiral Chen watched from the Artemis as the massive alien vessels moved into attack formation, their elegant biomechanical ships dwarfing Earth's deliberately crude-looking defenders. She could almost sense their contempt, their certainty of easy victory. "All units report ready," David said quietly. "Quantum entanglement network is operating at 100% efficiency. Lazarus Protocol is armed and tracking all enemy vessels. Send to all commands," Sarah ordered, her voice steady. "Execute initiative, Broken Mirror. Let's show them humanity's true face." The trap was about to be sprung. Humanity's greatest deception was about to become the Nexari Empire's worst nightmare. Across the solar system, quantum computers spun up to full power. Weapon systems hidden beneath falsified signatures powered to full capacity. And in the space between moments, through the quantum entanglement network that connected every human ship and station, a single command propagated at infinite speed. The war for Earth was about to begin, but not the way the Nexari expected. The hidden arsenal. The Nexari fleet commander, High Admiral Zextal, watched with satisfaction as his ships moved into their final attack positions. The primitive human vessels scattered before them like leaves in a storm, their crude weapons barely registering against his ship's energy screens. This would be yet another simple conquest for the glory of the Empire. Then everything changed. The quantum entanglement signal spread through Earth's forces at infinite speed. In an instant, the seemingly primitive human ships transformed. Holographic camouflage fields dropped, revealing sleek vessels of impossible geometry. The crude well blinds and exposed radiators shifted, metamaterial surfaces flowing like liquid metal to reveal their true nature. "High Admiral," his sensor officer called out, panic evident in their multi-tone voice. "The human vessels, they're generating energy signatures that exceed our theoretical maximums." Before Zextal could respond, the first quantum strikes hit. Beams of coherent space-time itself lanced out from Earth's ships, bypassing shields designed to stop conventional energy weapons. Where they struck, Nexari vessels simply ceased to exist, their matter scattered across multiple dimensional planes. In the Artemis Command Center, Admiral Chen watched the tactical display with cold satisfaction. Status of the Lazarus Protocol. Operating at full capacity, Commander Okafor reported. The quantum entanglement network is coordinating all units with zero lag time. The Nexari command and control systems can't keep up. The alien fleet's elegant formation began to break apart as they faced weapons they had never imagined possible. Their biomechanical ships, the pride of the Empire's technology, found themselves opposed by vessels that could predict and counter their every move through quantum computation. Multiple Nexari capital ships attempting emergency FTL jumps, Lieutenant Patil announced. Initiating Phase 2 of Broken Mirror. Across the solar system, hidden quantum arrays activated. Space itself seemed to thicken around the Nexari vessels as carefully calculated gravitational fields prevented their escape. They had walked into a trap years in the making, and humanity had just closed the door. "Send to all commands," Admiral Chen ordered. "Execute attack pattern Sigma 7. Show them what humanity can really do." Earth's fleet moved with impossible precision, every ship coordinated through the quantum network. Where the Nexari relied on faster-than-light communications with millisecond delays, human vessels reacted as one, their movements choreographed with perfect synchronization. The metamaterial hulls of Earth's ships rippled and shifted, adapting to each Nexari attack. Weapons that had conquered dozens of civilizations found themselves ineffective against armor that could change its fundamental properties faster than the energy could be delivered. "High Admiral," the Nexari sensor officer screamed, "they're using technology that violates fundamental laws of physics." Zextal watched in horror as his fleet's formations crumbled. The humans weren't just fighting back. They were systematically dismantling the most powerful battle fleet in known space. Every tactic, every strategy that had served the Empire for centuries proved useless against an enemy that seemed to know their moves before they made them. On the Artemis, David Okafor allowed himself a grim smile. "Admiral, quantum sensors are detecting massive energy fluctuations in the Nexari command ships. They're attempting to power up their primary wave motion cannons." "Exactly as predicted," Sarah Chen nodded. "Execute Initiative Glasshouse." Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum platforms activated. The space around the Nexari fleet became a maze of overlapping fields, each carefully calculated to turn their own weapons against them. When their wave motion cannons fired, the energy was caught, redirected, and reflected back through quantum mirrors. The result was catastrophic for the Empire's ships. Their own immense power, twisted back upon them through dimensions they barely understood, tore through their formations. Ships that had terrorized a dozen star systems were reduced to scattered atoms by their own weapons. "Nexari fleet cohesion is breaking down," Maya Patel reported. "Their command and control network is showing signs of complete collapse." Sarah Chen watched the tactical display as the mighty Nexari fleet, pride of an empire that had known only victory for centuries, began to disintegrate under humanity's assault. But this was more than just a military victory. It was a demonstration of human ingenuity and patience. Years of carefully planned deception culminating in a strategy that turned the enemy's strength into a weakness. "Signal from the Nexari flagship," David announced. "They're requesting emergency communication." "Put them through," Chen ordered. "Let's hear what the mighty Empire has to say." High Admiral Zextal's holographic form appeared, his usual imperial composure shattered. "What are you? How is this possible?" Admiral Chen allowed herself a small, cold smile. "We are humanity, High Admiral, and you're about to learn that appearances can be deceiving." The battle for Earth's solar system was ending, but humanity's demonstration of power was just beginning. The Nexari Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating those they sought to conquer. Battle for Sol. The quantum displays aboard Earth's flagship Hyperion painted a stark picture of the Nexari Empire's collapse. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of humanity's most advanced warship, now revealed in its true form, a vessel that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once, its hull shifting between states of matter in patterns that defied conventional physics. "Status of the Nexari home fleet?" she asked, watching as tactical overlays showed the remnants of the invasion force attempting to regroup. "Scattered and in disarray," Commander Okafor reported. "Their quantum signatures suggest they're trying to consolidate at Rally Point Epsilon in the Orion Spur, but without their main command structure, they're operating on outdated protocols." The defeat of the invasion fleet had been total, but Sarah knew better than to underestimate an empire that had dominated galactic politics for centuries. The Nexari still controlled vast territories and resources. What they had lost was their aura of invincibility. "Begin Phase 3, she ordered. "Deploy the Prometheus arrays." Throughout the solar system, massive quantum platforms began to activate. These weren't weapons in the conventional sense. They were gateways, points where space-time could be folded through dimensions the Nexari had never mastered. Humanity's fleet would strike not just through space, but through reality itself. "Multiple quantum corridors stabilizing," Lieutenant Patil announced. "The Nexari defense grid is attempting to track our signatures, but their sensors can't maintain lock through the dimensional shifts." The human fleet moved like ghosts through the fabric of space-time. Ships appeared and disappeared, striking from impossible angles as they phased between dimensions. The Nexary's once mighty defensive lines found themselves trying to fight an enemy that could attack from anywhere or anyone. On the bridge of his surviving command ship, High Admiral Zextal watched with growing horror as his empire's defenses crumbled. How are they doing this? Their technology was primitive just days ago. His tactical officer, voice trembling, replied, "The humans. They're using quantum mechanics in ways our scientists claimed were impossible. Their ships aren't just moving through space, they're manipulating the fundamental forces of reality." The truth was even more remarkable. Humanity hadn't just developed advanced technology. They had fundamentally reimagined how to use it. Where the Nexary built bigger ships and more powerful weapons, humans had learned to fight smarter, using quantum mechanics to turn space itself into a weapon. Multiple Nexary battle groups approaching through FTL, David reported aboard the Hyperion. They're attempting to establish a defensive line along the Orion arm. Admiral Chen nodded. Deploy the Quantum Ghost Protocol. Let's show them why conventional defenses are useless against an enemy that can attack through time as well as space. The Hyperion's quantum core pulsed, sending signals through the entanglement network. Human ships began to split their quantum states, existing in multiple temporal phases simultaneously. To the Nexary sensors, it appeared as if they were fighting not one human fleet, but dozens, each operating seconds out of phase with normal time. Their command and control systems are completely overwhelmed, Maya reported with satisfaction. They can't coordinate a defense against attacks that happen before their sensors detect them. The battle for the Orion arm became a lesson in futility for the Nexary Empire. Their ships, designed to fight conventional wars in normal spacetime, found themselves facing an enemy that could strike from any direction, at any moment, through dimensions they couldn't even detect. "Signal from the Nexary High Command," David announced. "They're requesting immediate cessation of hostilities." Sarah Chen considered the request carefully. The Empire was on the verge of total collapse, its mighty fleets reduced to scattered battle groups trying to defend against an enemy they couldn't understand. But humanity's victory needed to be more than just military. It needed to be psychological. "Send them our terms," she ordered. "Full surrender, immediate withdrawal from all conquered territories, and complete sharing of their technological database." The response came quickly, desperation evident in every word. The mighty Nexary Empire, which had never known defeat in its centuries of expansion, was surrendering to a species they had dismissed as primitive just days ago. As the formal surrender proceedings began, Admiral Chen allowed herself a moment of reflection. Humanity's greatest victory hadn't come from superior firepower or overwhelming numbers. It had come from patience, innovation, and the ability to think beyond conventional limitations. "Send word to Earth," she commanded. "The solar system is secured. The age of human isolation is over." The battle for Sol had ended, but humanity's emergence as a galactic power was just beginning. The stars themselves would learn that underestimating human potential was a dangerous mistake. Turning the tide. The Great Hall of the Nexary High Council, with its bioorganic architecture and pulsing quantum crystals, had never hosted a diplomatic delegation quite like this one. Admiral Sarah Chen stood before the assembled Nexary leadership, her dress uniform a stark contrast to their ornate biomechanical suits. Behind her, the holographic display showed the current state of their once mighty empire. Systems in chaos, fleets in disarray, and colonial worlds declaring independence. "Your civilization appeared primitive," First Speaker Ixel declared, his crystalline voice resonating through the chamber. "Our intelligence indicated you had barely mastered interplanetary travel." "That was by design," Chen replied coolly. "While you watched our carefully choreographed display of primitive technology, we were studying every aspect of your empire. Every probe you sent became our window into your capabilities." The assembled council members shifted uncomfortably. The humans hadn't just defeated their military. They had completely upended the galaxy's understanding of technological progression. Their quantum manipulation technology had evolved along paths the Nexary had never considered possible. In Earth orbit, Commander Okafor supervised the integration of liberated worlds into the new quantum communication network. Where the Nexeri had used their technology to dominate, humanity offered cooperation and advancement. Another delegation arriving from the Centauri cluster, Lieutenant Puddle reported. That makes 17 former Nexeri vassal states requesting diplomatic relations with Earth. The quantum displays showed streams of ships moving through the newly established corridors of spacetime. Each vessel carried representatives from civilizations, eager to align themselves with the power that had humbled the mighty Nexeri Empire. Our scientists have analyzed your quantum technology, a Nexeri council member stated, their biomechanical implants pulsing with agitation. It defies our understanding of universal constants. Because you limited yourselves to what you thought was possible, Chen explained. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to imagine beyond conventional limitations. The truth was even more profound than the Nexeri realized. Earth's quantum technologies hadn't just advanced along different lines. They had evolved through fundamentally different approaches to understanding reality itself. Where the Nexeri saw universal constants as limitations, humanity had seen them as variables to be manipulated. Multiple quantum signatures detected at the edge of Nexeri space, David reported from the Hyperion. The Andromeda Confederation is requesting immediate diplomatic contact. The galaxy was realigning itself. Powers that had stayed neutral during centuries of Nexeri expansion now sought alliance with Earth. Humanity's demonstration of quantum superiority had shifted not just military balance, but the very foundations of galactic civilization. In research facilities across Earth, scientists continued to push the boundaries of what was possible. The quantum technology that had won the war was already being adapted for peaceful purposes, terraforming barren worlds, healing damaged ecosystems, and creating new ways to explore the universe. The terms of surrender include full access to your technological database, Chen reminded the Council. But we're not interested in simply taking your knowledge. We're offering an exchange, a chance to learn from each other. The Nexeri leadership struggled with this concept. Their empire had been built on domination and technological superiority. The idea of mutual advancement, of sharing knowledge rather than hoarding it, was alien to them. Your quantum ghost protocol alone rewrites our understanding of temporal mechanics, another council member admitted. The ability to operate in multiple time phases simultaneously is just the beginning, Chen finished. Humanity's vision extends far beyond military applications. We see technology as a tool for advancement, not just conquest. Across former Nexeri space, the changes were already visible. Quantum communication networks linked formerly isolated worlds. Ships moved through new dimensions of spacetime, creating trade routes that would have been impossible months ago. The galaxy was transforming, and humanity was leading the way. Final reports from the frontier sectors, Maya announced aboard the Hyperion. The last Nexeri battle groups have stood down. The quantum network is now operational across 80% of former Imperial space. The victory was complete, but it wasn't just a triumph of arms. Humanity had demonstrated not just superior technology, but a superior vision for the future. Where the Nexeri had built an empire through force, Earth was creating a coalition through cooperation and shared advancement. We stand at a crossroads, Chen told the Council. Your empire's fall can either be an ending or a beginning. The choice is yours. As the diplomatic proceedings continued, quantum sensors detected increasing activity throughout the galaxy. Ships from 100 worlds converged on Earth, carrying representatives eager to participate in this new era of galactic civilization. The age of Nexeri dominance was over. The age of human innovation had begun. Empires fall. 1 year after the Nexeri surrender, the gleaming spires of New Geneva rose into Earth's sky, a testament to humanity's new role in galactic affairs. The interstellar Concordat headquarters, built with a fusion of human quantum architecture and technologies from 100 worlds, served as the center of a new galactic order. Admiral Sarah Chen, now Earth's primary representative to the Concordat, stood in the quantum observatory, watching ships from across the galaxy phase, in and out of dimensional space as they arrived for the first galactic assembly. Each vessel represented a civilization that had either broken free from Nexeri control or sought alliance with Earth's growing sphere of influence. Final diplomatic delegations are arriving through the quantum corridors, Commander Okafor reported, including representatives from the far rim systems, worlds that even the Nexeri never managed to reach. The transformation of galactic society had been more complete than anyone could have imagined. Humanity's approach to quantum technology, focused on cooperation rather than domination, had sparked a renaissance of scientific and cultural exchange. Where the Nexeri had forced worlds into submission, Earth invited them into partnership. Quantum network expansion has exceeded all projections, Lieutenant Patil announced. We're seeing voluntary integration from systems beyond former Nexeri space. The network that had won the war had evolved into something far greater, a living web of quantum connections linking civilizations across vast distances. Ideas, culture, and knowledge flowed freely through dimensions the Nexeri had never thought to explore. In what had once been the heart of Nexeri space, former colony worlds flourished under new leadership. The Empire's rigid hierarchy had been replaced by a cooperative alliance of independent worlds, each contributing their unique insights to the growing pool of galactic knowledge. Update from the Nexeri homeworld, David reported. Their quantum laboratories have successfully replicated our phase shift technology. They're requesting permission to join the scientific exchange program. Sarah allowed herself a smile. The former Empire scientists, freed from the constraints of military focus, were beginning to see the true potential of their abilities. What had once been weapons of war were being transformed into tools of progress. Multiple breakthrough reports from the joint research initiatives, Maya added. The combination of human quantum theory with Nexeri biomechanical engineering is yielding results that neither civilization could have achieved alone. This was humanity's true victory, not the defeat of an empire, but the creation of something greater. The quantum technology that had humbled the Nexeri was now being used to solve problems that had plagued galactic civilization for millennia. In the assembly chamber below, representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered. Former enemies sat beside new allies, their differences set aside in pursuit of shared advancement. The Nexeri themselves, stripped of their imperial ambitions, had become eager participants in this new order. They still don't fully understand how we did it, David observed, watching the former first speaker of the Nexeri Council take his place among the delegates. How we hid our true capabilities for so long. Because they never understood that strength isn't just about technology, Sarah replied. It's about how you choose to use it. The quantum displays showed the extent of human influence spreading across the galaxy. But unlike the Nexeri Empire's expansion through force, this was growth through voluntary association. Worlds sought Earth's alliance not out of fear, but out of recognition of a better path forward. New contact at the galactic core, Maya reported suddenly. Unknown quantum signatures. They're unlike anything we've encountered. Sarah studied the readings with interest. Where once such a discovery would have prompted fear or defensive preparation, now it represented something else. An opportunity for new understanding, new connections, new possibilities. Prepare a diplomatic delegation, she ordered. Let's show them what humanity's learned about making first contact. As the assembly convened below, marking the official establishment of the new galactic order, Sarah Chen reflected on how far humanity had come. From a seemingly primitive civilization, hiding its true potential to the architects of a new age of exploration and discovery. The stars themselves seem brighter now, seen through the lens of quantum possibility. Humanity had not just defeated an empire. They had transformed the very nature of galactic civilization. And this was just the beginning. Send word to Earth, she commanded. The new era is officially beginning, and humanity will lead the way not through force of arms, but through the power of innovation and cooperation. The age of empires was over. The age of discovery had begun. And humanity, once dismissed as primitive, now stood at the forefront of galactic civilization, not as conquerors, but as pioneers of a future limited only by imagination itself.